Hi, my name is Olexii Klochko and I am one of the co-authors of article about digitalization trends in higher education. So, digitalization of higher education is a global trend that will develop following the market learning services growth in general and online education in particular. And the COVID-19 pandemic totally has changed the world. It connected people, communities, and countries together and at the same time divided them. We have learned a lot and we do not stop learning. Due to the growing threats of COVID-19 pandemic over humanity, the most educational institutions in the world have moved to the online space. Studying the practice of foreign educational institutions, it can be noted that schools in most countries of the world, understanding the growing trends of the epidemic, are gradually moving to internet learning. The article analyzes the process of modern educational digitalization. The relevance of the study is determined by the special role of education in the modern society life, focusing on the principles and values of the post-industrial era. The quality of human potential and people's willingness to face natural and social challenges largely depend on the effectiveness of educational system. At present, there is no successful and proven system of the university's digitalization in the board practice. The purpose of the article is to highlight the trends in the development of higher education in a digital economy. The technology is changing every area of social life and education is no exception. In the first half of the 20th century, radio, television, and video projection started to be used in education. In the second half of the 20th century, computers, local networks, and the internet. So the pace of the pandemic is still growing. Most parts of Europe, the United Kingdom, and the part of Asia have already introduced online educational platforms for their schools, and they have already lessons online. Unfortunately, the most educational institutions in Ukraine were not ready for such a rapid development. At the same time, such technologies require a revision of existing approaches to educational activities. Labor market trends also change every year. The technology is evolving faster than ever. It is changing the importance of different professions in all spheres of activity. The educational system may not always be able to provide up-to-date curricula, which sometimes become obsolete before the graduates receive their diplomas. Before discussing digital trends in higher education, we should mention general trends in education. Higher education is currently a teaching process, but there will soon be a transition from direct learning to mentoring and further to the coordination of researches. So we mentioned the general education trends can also be considered of increasing its inclusiveness, individualization of education, and shortening of education trajectories, like offering education solutions in a compact form, and sure the possibility for students to master several modules like macro courses at once. And digital trends in higher education include the usage of virtual reality technologies like an addition to existing remote technology. The transition from the formation of hard skills to soft skills, as the transition from the formation of hard skills to soft skills involving the development of creative thinking, a desire for development, the ability for the self-organization, especially among students of technical specialties. And sure, elimination of obstacles in related fields of knowledge on the basis of digitalization. And today, educational digitalization is based on principles of creative thinking, imagination, and the desire for development. And the purpose of the present article are possible ways for already using existing massive open online courses in the higher educational system. The direction for the development of educational based of, on blockchain technology are proposed. Our result. Nowadays, modern educational technologies that offer smart solutions in the field of education are becoming more accessible. Content is becoming more interesting, interactive, and improved. The devices used to access these resources are becoming more understandable and simple. A new term has appeared in the education system. This is like intellectual education, which has replaced the concept of adaptive learning. Most of the global market is still concentrated in the United States, where these technologies are well established. Most of the global market is still concentrated in the United States, where these technologies are well established. So here are some statistics from various analytical studies of US data on the benefits of online learning. So distance education vendor the SIBO estimated that more than 22 million US consumers choose educational service by request more than traditional educational services. With the use of internet learning tools, the time spent on studying the same material as in the traditional educational process is reduced up to 60%. According to Statista, 43% of US college students say e-learning technologies are extremely useful for doing homework. According to a 2016 Statista survey, 12% of US students said accessing an e-learning program helped them improve their grades. According to Statista, more than 14,000 students from all over the world took at least one online course in 2018. So modern online systems use 5 basic learning models. The first is virtual training under the instructor guidance, simulation training, adaptive learning, social learning, and cooperative learning. On this slide, we can see top 10 skills of 2025. And as we see, these skills connected with a creative, critical thinking, with the people management, and emotional, sure, with the emotional intelligence. So the skills will determine the main trends in the development of the labor market, individual society, and culture. The greatest interest of self-study program based on on massive online educational courses platforms is observed in the countries of the Asia-Pacific region, like we can see this on the graphic here, the number of learnings with the self-studying program in 2018, and we can see on the slide that because the big population of India, here's more than 300 millions of people uh, used self-studying program in 2018, and sure the China and USA. And here's on this slide the graphic about revenue from consumers, use of self-learning products and services by region. And sure, because the North America, they're situated countries like Canada and United States. Because of this, and they have a good income from the self-learning products. And Asia, because of big population of people, they have income more than $10 billion, and uh, Eastern Europe here's more than $5 billion of dollars income by the self-learning products. So the digitalization of the educational process also affects the organizational aspects of the university's activities, like improving the efficiency of research management, automation of management processes, and the university application of distributed ledger technologies, like blockchain, for secure storage and fast transfer of information. In many ways, virtual and reality technologies, online management of educational organization, and big data technologies allow collecting information about the needs of students based on supply, adapting educational programs. And the use of blockchain technology in education has great prospects. Like blockchain is a distributed storage system where storage devices are not connected to a shared server. This database stores and so this makes blockchains very convenient for logging events and data operation, identity management, and confirmation of the source authenticity. While the blockchain will help popularize and legitimize online education, and still and it will significantly reduce unemployment around the world. It will give a chance to get online education for those people who do not have opportunity to get offline, and in the future will help with finding a job because all diplomas and certificates contained in the blockchain are official and reliable, and the blockchain allows the standardization of certificates and diplomas obtained in online learning. And as a conclusion, for the answer to the question what prevent the academic environment from development more intensively, the education environment should be considered as a system. There is one of the main subject in the system, a scientific and pedagogical worker who is able to transfer his or her knowledge, skills, and ability to the online environment, but for this working condition must be created. To create a solid and effective system, it is necessary to create and develop domestic platforms for adaptive learning, to implement closer interaction between employers and educational organizations, and introduce corporate training programs into academic ones. A flexible funding program for students at all stages of training should be created. And the main trends in higher education is individualization, mobilization, speed up, offline education, collaboration with online platforms, and sure, soft skills, the first key too. So thank you for your attention.